Hey everyone, we'll kick off right now. I assume most of you guys are on board at this point in time. Before we get started, just a quick intro of myself. I think most of you guys know who I am, but for those who haven't come across myself, my name is Kiang. I'm one of the founders here at OWNA/WORKR. I'm a techie by trade, software developer, so pretty much built the platform with my team from the ground up. Okay, so I know every single aspect of the OWNA platform as well as the WORKR platform as well. So what you're going to hear from me today, and I always say this, is you'll hear it from a technical point of view. Right? So I'll show you exactly how it works, but you know, I tend to talk more techie than I do sales marketing. So if I do get ahead of myself, too quick, whatnot, let me know, and I'll slow it down and go from there. What we're going to go through today is the WORKR platform. Okay, so WORKR is our HR/payroll platform. The reason why we spun it off into a separate system altogether is a couple of things. So the first thing is it allows us to target other businesses as well, not just childcare. We've done great with the childcare industry or the early education industry in the sense that what we built for the early education space, we saw that it could be mirrored across other industries as well. Okay, so a great example here is the WORKR platform in the sense that it covers payroll, rostering, timesheets, reimbursements, asset registry, onboarding, LMS, well-being, and whatnot. We thought rather than just making it available for the early education space, why not make it available for other businesses as well? Okay, so I'll be upfront with you. That's why we spun it off into a separate platform, but at the same time, it is tightly coupled with the OWNA system. Okay, so keep that in mind. The other reason why we built this is we've had so many requests from a lot of directors, managers, APOs, and whatnot to build a more complete payroll system, of HR payroll system. There's only so much we can do inside the OWNA platform, and syncing up with, say, Xero and QuickBooks and whatnot does take a lot of effort. So rather than trying to integrate with so many different systems out there, we partnered with a platform called KeyPay that handles a lot of the payroll, but it's all embedded inside the WORKR platform itself. And I'll go through that today. And lastly, the other reason why we built it is to keep the two systems separate. We especially for larger centers with a lot of staff members, a lot of children, a lot of parents. Some of these centers turned off notifications, and the reason being is they'll get notified for every single thing, and it's important staff communication or staff notification and anything staff related were getting missed because these notifications were turned off. So rather than having everything bundled on the OWNA platform, the staff side can be spun off now, and then staff members would leave the WORKR app with the notifications turned on, and they'll get important notifications for anything that's staff related. So you shouldn't lose that going forward. Okay. What are we going to go through today? So I've divided the session into 4 topics. I'm not gonna try and go into too much detail on every single aspect because I do want to cover 4 areas here in the space of the next hour or so. So firstly, the first thing I want to cover is the payroll side of things, and that looks at stuff like timesheets, pay slips, leave requests, doing a pay run, interpreting the awards, any overtime, any leave accrual. I'll go through all that as well. We'll talk on the rostering timesheet side of things, how staff members can block out availabilities, how you can insert staff leave during a shift, and how that all feeds back into the payroll side of things. And once we covered the payroll side of things, which would be a fair chunk of it, we'll look at stuff that is unique to the WORKR platform, stuff like the audit history log. I'll go through exactly our auditing process, reimbursements, how staff can put in reimbursement claim, asset registry, wellness index, and I'll touch on how WORKR integrates with OWNA as well. Okay, something like we look at stuff like document sharing between the platform, and also we talk about some of the features that we haven't built just yet, but we are working on it, and it'll be out very soon. Okay, so it's stuff like onboarding, LMS, well-being, appraisals, and all that kind of stuff. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. to get to WORKR, right? Our URL here. This is probably a temporary URL. It might change a bit later on, but if you ever get stuck, just head over to OWNA first. OWNA. Let me just type this in. So we'll start from the start here. So OWNA, straight down the bottom, and you'll see a WORKR link right there. If you tap on that, that will take you straight to the WORKR website. And inside here, there's a login option right here, right? We're obviously assuming you're set up and ready to go. Now, I'll talk about signing up and prices towards the end of the webinar. Click on the login button there, and you're presented with the login screen to log into your dashboard. So it works the same as OWNA. There is the actual app itself. There is the actual portal as well. All right, so again, same thing like as you do with OWNA, a lot of the administration side of things is done inside the dashboard here. Right? I'm not going to log into this one here. I've got a test one here that I'm going to log into. Log in, put in your details, email, password, log in, and it will jump straight into your dashboard. So let's just give it a sec. There you go. So kind of similar to what you see in OWNA, except what we've done with WORKR is we've removed the left-hand menu and we made it appear at the top here. Right? So you've got a full screen without that side, the left column disappearing, or not disappearing, but taking a chunk of the screen, so to speak. Especially those using using Safari on their iPad or Chrome on their Android tablet, you won't have that left menu appearing anymore. Gives you more space, so to speak, to see certain things. Before I jump into the payroll side of things, so just quickly, you have your manager on duty, just like you have a responsible person. Obviously, in this case here, you have your manager on duty. We have our wellness index. I'll go through that in a second. Upcoming birthdays, any absences today as well. Right? You have your different rooms or different locations that you set up and how many staff members are in that particular location or room. Same thing here as well. So I've got Amy here, who's not in a room at the moment. She's obviously checked into work, but she hasn't logged into a room or checked into a room. I can do it straight here as well. Drag her into there. That gets added to the staff log. Now, Amy is now in the head office room. And if I just refresh that quickly, that should change from 1 to 2. And there you go. You still got your checklist here up here. So I've got my 2 checklists that are overdue at the moment. So we do the same thing. There's a lot of crossover stuff. So anything that that we thought was great inside the OWNA platform, like checklists and hazard maintenance log and risk assessment, we've pulled that out and put into the WORKR platform as well. Okay, so you can see I've got 2 checklists overdue. What are they? Tap on the little bell icon here. I can see exactly what my what checklist overdue at the moment. I've also got a staff document that's overdue here as well. Okay, again, similar to what you've seen inside OWNA already. Next thing we want to have a look at is the timesheets and the syncing of timesheets straight into KeyPay to do your pay runs and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not gonna go through the whole process of checking the staff member in and moving in between room. I assume you guys know exactly how to do that, and we kind of do similar inside WORKR as well. So all I do is head over to my under rostering timesheets. I go to staff log / timesheets, and as you can see, this is obviously today's timesheet here. Let me go back to last week. I want to do a pay run for last week. Obviously we're processing our pay for last week. I want to start paying our staff members. So what I do, just go into here, select my staff timesheets. As you can see, this is my timesheet for last week. Okay, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all the way to Sunday. I'm happy with that. Again, you'll make the adjustments as you need to. Okay, I'll come back to the timesheet to talk more about putting in leave and all that kind of stuff in a second. But assuming I'm happy with this, all I need to do is select the period, so 18 to 24. We still have the Connect to Zero, Export to MYOB and QuickBooks and all that, but we've got a special one down here called KeyPay. Okay, so again, as I mentioned earlier, we partnered with KeyPay that does all our payroll inside the WORKR platform for us. Okay, so I'm going to export this over to KeyPay. The great thing about KeyPay is it allows you to do stuff like push it in times, exact times into KeyPay, and KeyPay will work out stuff like if they're over their overtime, over their shift period, it gives them overtime, and whereas the likes of Xero allows you to only do push a certain amount of hours work for the day. So you couldn't say that first 4 hours was at a special rate and the second 4 hours were at a different rate. You couldn't do that with Xero, right? You could only push 8 hours, and Xero had did his thing behind the scenes. You had to adjust some stuff as well. With KeyPay, we can push times and we can set rules and criteria in the back end of KeyPay to obviously work out pays at different levels. And I'll show you that in a second. So all I need to do is tap this button here, right? Tap that button there. Fingers crossed, it goes through. There it is there. Timesheet has been successfully pushed to KeyPay. That's what you want to see. If I head over to Payroll now, I go Manage Payroll. This is where the bulk of the work happens. As you can see, this is a dummy setup. Okay, so obviously a lot of data here is not correct. So at the moment, my employee costs $3,639, net pay, PAYG withheld, and any super withheld as well. Okay, keep in mind, this does everything you need to do with payroll. That includes stuff like your STP, your single touch payroll, your super clearing, leave accrual, leave tracking and management. It does all that. Right? I can't cover it all today, but I'll cover the bare basics, and we can always have a more detailed session just to do with payroll at a later date. In here, I'll head over to my approved timesheets, right? And let me flick back to last week. So last week ending was the 24th. Let me go to any, and as you can see, it submitted a whole bunch of timesheets in here. Okay, so for Andre, Johnny, and Kylie, it lets me know exactly how many hours they've worked and so forth. And in here, I can obviously go in here and delete any particular thing as well. I can make any adjustments and whatnot. I'm happy with that. What I can do is up here. Let me go into here. Oops. All right. Let me go into here. I'll go new pay run. And what I want to do is I want to pay for the period starting the 18th, which was last week, last Monday to Sunday. Sorry. Was that there is a import timesheet section here. Okay, so there's a couple of things behind the scenes. So you can have staff on salary, so to speak, that obviously don't require a timesheet, and you can set all that up as well. At the moment, I'm gonna pay on timesheet. So I've got my staff members set up, and what I'm saying is, you haven't seen this yet, but what I'm saying behind the scenes is these staff members here will get paid based on their timesheet. So I've got 9 timesheets here that is picked up. I'll go create, and once I create that, it creates my pay run for the week. It imports the timesheets, and I'll quickly show you. And here it is here. Okay, so for this particular pay run, I'm paying weekly. There are 3 employees right here. Okay, the 3 employees. Johnny works 0 hours. Andre works 0 hours, but Kylie here, she worked 32.75 hours, 32 3/4. Her gross earnings 1529. Taxable income, any PAYG. Okay, any super contribution, it all tracks that as well. Okay, so you don't have to worry about working all that stuff out. It knows every quarter that particular amount in terms of PAYG is needed to be paid to the ATO, and obviously the 60 here needs to be paid to the super clearinghouse for Kylie's super for this particular week. Okay, if I click on Kylie quickly, as you can see, it does a breakdown. Okay, so behind the scenes, she's on, or Kylie's here is on the Children's Services Permanent Non-Shift Worker Awards. I'll talk about awards in a second. So it knows based on that award, all right, for 4.75 hours, she gets paid 33.62 an hour and so forth. But as you can see, as we get down here, there are some overtime in place. As I was saying, it knows that 18:30 to 18:30 being 6:30 to 8:30 there, she did 2 hours. And because it's overtime, the first 2 hours, she gets paid $50.43 per hour. Then overtime thereafter, on that particular date as well, the 21st of October, from 8 to 10:30, it's a higher rate, okay? And that's all based on the awards. That's all based on the awards on this particular award that has been set up for Kylie's profile. And you can obviously override certain things as well, right? But generally, when you apply an award to the particular employee, the system will work out all these particular rates and hours and stuff for you. So that again, you're compliant in the sense that you're paying staff members correctly, and obviously at the same time, you're not overpaying them. At the same time, you're not underpaying them as well. All right. KeyPay does a great job with the awards, and they have all the early education awards in terms of ECTs and childcarers and all that kind of stuff. If you're using the likes of Xero, for example, all right, Xero doesn't provide you this. You need to go in manually and adjust these hourly rates for your staff members. And for example, you know, after 12 months, for example, if they've been in the organization for longer than 12 months, the award changes depending on their skills and experience and whatnot. They get an high hourly rate. If you're using the likes of Xero, you need to manually adjust that yourself. You need to go in there, change their hourly rate and whatnot, and pay them correctly. Going forward with KeyPay, it alerts you. It'll let you know certain things that's going to happen in advance, so that you're aware that in this case here, Kylie's going to been in the organisation for 12 months. You know, that 12 months is happening next week. That her hourly rate's going to change from 33.62 to 35, for example. Okay. I'm gonna pretend I'm happy with this. So down here, as you can see, it tracks the leave accrued as well. Okay, so in this case, he's accrued 1.3 hours of annual leave, long service leave 0.3, and obviously personal carers leave of 0.69 as well. Right, and I can add any leave here as well. I can adjust leave, I can add leave as I go, but obviously I'm not going to do that. I'm happy with that. All I need to do is down here, I go finalize pay run. Okay, once I finalize that pay run. Yep, I understand. Yep, click on that. I'll go finalize. No, it's obviously it's going to finalize the pay run. It's gonna create all those PAYG figures and the super contribution figures and so forth. And now that pay run, so to speak, has been completed. There is a you can download what they call it, the banking file. I've got the actual term for that banking file now. You can download that banking file, import it into your NetBank, for example, if you're using CBA, and then obviously you'll pay out your staff members right from your account straight into their account. Let me.
Sorry, can I just jump in for a second there? I had a couple of questions.
Go ahead.
Can they put rules in around like time in lieu and unpaid leave instead of the overtime stuff?
You can
they do that themselves?
Yeah, sorry, you can. What I'm going to do is, can somebody just turn the on mute? I can hear background noise. What I was going to say is, you can set all that up. I'm not a payroll expert, right? So I'm not going to go through today and go through all that. We have a payroll expert on our team right now. What I want to do is I'm going to set up another session in the coming week whereby we go through exactly how to set all that stuff up. Right? But keep in mind, yes, you can set up different rules for different employees, time in lieu, and all that kind of stuff as well. Okay. Coming back to here. So back on my pay run, as you can see, my pay run is now finalized. Okay, so for that week, there's 3 employees, and the net wages here was 118,471. And the gross wages obviously was 1,529.71. At the top here, obviously that's changed now from 3,000 odd to $5,000. So employees, all your staff members will get a notification. They'll get a notification straight on their device, letting them know that their payslip is now viewable inside the app. All they need to do is in here, open up the WORKR app, tap on the WORKR app. First thing that appears is this how was your day? Okay, so this is part of our wellness index. So I'm just gonna select 4, great day. I'll come back to this in a second. So let me just fill this in because it's asking me, great day today. All right, so let me just get out of the screen. All right, so I've rated my day, gave it a 4 stars, and put in the comment there. What I want to have a look at is the payslip side of things. So as Kylie, I'm logged in as Kylie here. As you can see, this is similar to what you see inside OWNA. It will change over time to be a bit more worker-like with different interfaces and whatnot. But up here, top right-hand corner, there's an option here to see your payslip. If I tap on that right here, as you can see, I've got a few different payslips right here. So the last one here was 1591.68. If I click on this right now, there it goes. Opens up my payslip. Wait for that to load. And there you go. Was this the right period? A period ending? No, sorry, that was the wrong period. It should be this one right here. So click on that. This is the payslip, so to speak. So it might be a bit small there on the phone. but let me just try to maximize that a bit. As you can see, it gives me my payslip in a PDF format, the business name, my job title, my rate per hour, and it gives me a breakdown of exactly my hours work and the rate here as well. It also gives me a just like where you get in a typical payslip, so to speak. So my PAYG, my taxes, my super contribution, my super that it's going to get paid to, and obviously the leave that I accrued at this point in time. Okay, so how many leave I've taken this week, and obviously how many leave remaining here as well. All right, I can download that. I can download that straight into my device's files folder on a iPhone, for example, or if you're on Android, straight into your files folder or your downloads folder. You have a copy of that PDF, so to speak. So again, we don't email pay slips to staff members. They have it straight inside the app. They'll get notified there as well. Okay, so that's the cycle, so to speak. Obviously, I've skipped a whole bunch of stuff in between, the more advanced stuff, but that's the cycle, so to speak, from your timesheets to your straight into KeyPay, your pay run, and obviously all the way to your pay slips. Inside here, there's a whole bunch of reporting. Okay, so again, I won't cover too much, but assuming your PAYG is due, your super is due, and so forth, there's a whole bunch of reporting here that you can get. So super contribution, click on that. Run this report, KPL Solutions. I've got $239 that I need to pay for my super contribution for this particular month, and then this particular quarter, so to speak. It will when you connect it up with your super clearinghouse and so forth, it will allow you to pretty much just send that straight to the super clearinghouse. You'll pay that $239.54 to that BPay ID that the super clearinghouse will give you, and they'll go straight into your employee's super account. Okay. The other thing I want to have a look at is on the app side of things. Let me just bring this up quickly. On the app side of things is being able to request leave, being able to block out availabilities as well. Okay. So in here under roster, little plus button on the bottom right hand corner here. This allows you to do a couple of things, and there'll be a whole bunch of other options available very soon as well. But at the moment, there are two options here: block out availability and also manage leave requests as well. The block out availability is great for especially centres with casual staff members who can't be rostered on. For example, if you've got a university student and they've got exams for the next 2 weeks, they want to block that period out. They can do it straight here on the app as well, so that when you go and roster that staff member, it won't appear, it'll show you that they're unavailable, so you can't obviously roster them on. So what I'll do is, I'm logged in as Kylie here. Let's assume she's a casual staff member. I'll click on this block out availability. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of periods that I've blocked out already. Let's block out a new period. So in here, I might say, 31st, let's say the 1st of November. 1st of November being a Monday. I've got exams in the morning, so I might say 9 a.m. I'll go done. In here, all the way to 5 p.m. and there you go, done. All right, I'll block out that availability. I'll block that out right now. An email gets sent to the centre or the business, letting them know that Kylie here has blocked out that availability. Right. If I go on the rostering now and I go build roster, and I think I built it for last week. Let me have a look. Okay. All right. So I've got a roster here. Cool. So if I try and add Kylie right now, let me just do this quickly. I'll go to start mode. As you can see, this is for next week. On the staff view, I can see straight away that Kylie is unavailable between 9 and 5 p.m. Okay, it won't give me a plus button there, so I can't go and add her in for that particular day. No. Same thing on the build mode as well. So if I go to the build mode of the roster, and I'm pretty sure, sorry, I'm in the 25th. I'll go to next week. And if I try to add Kylie now, let's just add it to the boardroom. I'll go Kylie. And I'll say boardroom, let's just say 9 to 5:30. Save changes right there. Staff has blocked out this period and cannot be rostered on. Okay, so great little tool there, great little feature for your casual staff members, so they can block out availability, whether it's a day or whether it's a period, so that you don't roster them on, for that on next week's roster in this case here. Right? What we're going to have going forward also is you can allocate your shifts. So in here, just letting you know quickly. So you build out your roster, but at the same time, you might have gaps, so to speak, that you don't have staff members to fill. Going forward, you'll be able to put in a temporary placeholder, so to speak, and educators or staff members on the app will be able to book themselves in for that shift, so to speak, shift bidding. So they'll be able to go in, tap on that, and then obviously, assuming they that role is fit for them. Obviously, it's ECT. They're not ECT. They won't be able to fulfill that role. But if that particular position or that particular shift has been put up, it's available, they fit the criteria, they'll be able to book that shift going forward. Okay, that's a nice little feature that we have coming soon. Back to the app. So on the app itself as well, I can request leave. Also, I can manage my leave requests. Previously, especially on the OWNA app, all you could do was add in a leave request, and that was it. Now you can obviously manage your leave request as well. As you can see, Kylie here has 2 leave put in, and they've been approved already. There's one here that hasn't been approved yet. Let's add one right in. Let's add one in right now. So I might say November. Okay, so Kylie here wants Melbourne Cup Day off. She wants to be off that day. She's gone to the races. Let's click on this. 5 p.m. Okay, and I'll say off to the races. All right, so she's off to the races. She's putting in leave. Click that button right here. That will go straight into the system. I'll go straight into the system. Obviously, as a leave request, I can manage that as well. Right. So if I decide I don't want that no more, I can delete it. I can also edit it as well. If I click on edit in here, I can adjust any times that I want as well. Right. I'm happy with that. It goes in. I can view my leave allowances as well. As you can see here, if I tap on this will go straight to key pay. Works out that annual leave, I've got 7.6 hours, personal carers leave, I've got 3 hours, long service leave, I've got 1.6, and so forth. So I can see straight away before I even put in my leave, how much leave I've got at the moment. Okay, so great little feature there as well. On the portal side of things, so again, an email gets sent to the email address that has been designated as the admin email address. If I go to here, I go leave requests. As you can see, there's one here. I can see on the leave request, I'll be able to see current availabilities. So I can see exactly who won't be available. So Kylie put in that she's unavailable on the Monday, November the 1st. That's due to happen in 5 days. So it gives you a bit of a heads up here. Down here, I can see Kylie has put in leave here. It's not approved yet. Okay, obviously when it's approved, you'll see this little blue tick. If it's been rejected, you'll see a red cross right there. Anything that's been approved, you'll see that blue tick. This one hasn't been approved. So what I want to do is I want to have a look at this. So I'll go edit. And up here, when I go edit, again, as an administrator, it pulls the leave for me straight from KeyPay. Okay, so I know, yep, Kylie's got 9 hours, carers leave of 4, long service leave of 1.9, and so forth. So I have an idea of, if she has enough leave, so I can approve it. So yep, this is off to the races. This is annual leave, right? And total hours here is 8. And I'll go approve. I can notify staff members as well. All right. If I check that, it'll send her an email notification saying your leave has been approved. I'll click on that. I'll go approve. Once I approve this right now, there it is there. It goes, staff leave has been successfully approved and leave request successfully updated to KeyPay. So what that means is if I go to manage payroll, right, this gets inserted straight into Kylie's leave section. So in here, I'll go approve leave. And I think it was for Monday. There it is there. Tuesday, November the 2nd for Kylie. If I click on this right now, as you can see, it's been approved. Okay, so she's got a leave balance of 9, approved leave, available, and obviously leave required. Okay, so I can see straight away whether she has enough leave, whether she doesn't have enough. That's all available there for me. It goes straight into the system. And once you do your pay run, and so to speak, for that particular week, it will deduct that particular leave from her leave accrual. So in the pay slip, it will be whatever it is, deduct that 8 hours that we put in just there. Okay, so I hope that covers the pay runs, the leave request, the timesheets, and the pay slips. Anything else before we jump onto the next section, or any questions? See, there's a whole bunch of chat questions there that have been put up. Feel free to unmute yourself if you've got any questions that you wanna ask. I'll keep going in the meantime, and I
Hey,
might come back
Kiang, just a quick one with OWNA and worker syncing in terms of payroll and sign in and outs.
Yep.
Would staff be signing in and out of classrooms via OWNA or worker?
Now you do that via OWNA. Okay, you do that via OWNA, and because I'll show you the integration in a second. Yeah, we're not going to make you sign in via worker, because the thing with OWNA is you have your child ratio that you need to take care of. That's why you'll still check in via OWNA, and then we can pull that data straight to worker at a later date. Okay. So I think I covered blocking availabilities, and I showed that in the roster as well, the availability. Order history log. Okay, so on the system itself, so on the dashboard, you'll see there's a system audit history. Okay, so behind the scenes, any important stuff that gets done on the platform, whether it's leave approved or leave submitted, or in this case here, a simple case of Kylie viewing a payslip, it's all logged. Okay, if you delete a particular leave request, it will get logged as well. So any actions that is important will get logged here, and you can see this is your on the dashboard itself. It's a quick the last 50 items, but if I click on that there, view audit history, and I'll go get report, there's a whole bunch of different options here. Okay, so leave approved for staff Kylie was actioned by Kylie herself. This the type is leave. Kylie here has blocked out days, all right, part of rostering. Kylie did this as well. I'm always logged in as Kylie here, so hence it's always actioned by Kylie. But if something was added by someone else, you'll be able to see their particular name. If someone's deleted certain things, you can see exactly who's done it and what the item or what the action was as well. Okay, so that's your audit history. And by default, I think it shows the last 7 days. You can change that to get a bigger time frame, so to speak. So that again, everything's tracked, everything's audited, so they someone can't say, "Oh, I put something in, but it's not there." It's all logged going forward as well. Okay. Reimbursement.
Quick question, just in terms of leave, Kiang. If a staff member puts in leave, does that automatically add to the staff calendar? And if so, can other staff see when staff are on leave so that they know whether they can or can't apply for leave?
Yeah, they can. Okay, so if a leave has been approved, let me just bring this up here. If a leave has been approved, if I go into here, I go to staff communication diary. As you can see, leave, staff leave, Kylie Simmons, she's on leave for that particular day. Okay, it doesn't say what it is, it just says she's on leave. So I know straight away if I wasn't Kylie and I wanted that day is not available. Okay, or if I have too many staff members off that particular day, I know it probably won't be approved. It's not gonna stop you from submitting it. But again, as an approver, you have that available on the leave request screen here. As you can see, if I flick over to November, I can see one staff member's on leave at the moment. If I had multiple dots there, I know I'm short staffed, I might not approve that particular leave, so to speak. Okay. Reimbursements. Hopefully that answers your question. Reimbursement. So reimbursement. In here, there's a there's a reimbursement section right here. Okay. If I click on this, as you can see, I've got a couple of reimbursement items. Again, they're dummy items, but these are open. They haven't been paid yet. If they were paid, that would change from open to be paid. If I click on this right here, I might say, I don't know, lunch for the team. All right, and the amount was $30. Oh, let's just say a bit more than that, $100. I can add some notes. So I might say we had lunch for the whole team, for example. I can upload my receipt. Okay, well, I don't have a picture of a receipt here, but let's just pick one. Now access to all photos. All right. I'm going to select that image. Let's assume that's a receipt, and I can select multiple as well. Happy with that. Oops, there it is. Oops, I made that pull that down, so to speak. So let's don't worry about that. I submit that. I go update, and again, what happens is that gets added to the audit history. Or it needs me to put in a note. So let me say lunch for my team. I'll go update. I'll submit that. And it goes, reimbursement has been successfully submitted. As you can see, there's my reimbursement claim right here. Right? I can edit that. I can delete that. Obviously, I can't delete anything that's been paid. At the moment, it's open. So hence, I can make any adjustments. Same thing as well. There's a reimbursement screen available on the portal, and I can't show you this because this particular screen here has been uploaded. So I'll go to manage staff reimbursement. It's going to error out. There it is. But there's the same process as the leave request page, whereby you click on approve that reimbursement, and obviously staff members will get notified on their app that has been approved. That gets tracked on the audit log as well. Did it get tracked? Looks like it hasn't got tracked. Okay, so that's I'll make a note of that reimbursement. All right, so I'll put that into the log so that going forward, any reimbursements get added to the audit history as well. And if it's been approved, you'll also get added to the audit history as well. Asset registry. Under workplace, there's an asset registry option right here. All right, and this is where you can add stuff like equipment, devices, phones, anything of value that you want to track, that you want to depreciate, and that you want to assign to staff members, so you know exactly where all your equipment are, so to speak. So at the moment, I've got a Service Pro 8 here that was originally valued at $1,300. The market price at the moment is $1,099. It's gone down by 18%. It's been assigned to Kylie. Okay, it's been assigned to Kylie. There's another option, another one here. The MacBook Pro has been assigned to Kylie as well, and some other knockoff Mac here has been assigned to Amy, for example. Okay, all you need to do is put in your asset name. So I might say I'm using an iMac here, so 2015 iMac, 21-inch. I might say this is part of the computer asset category. Active, archive, and sold. Right, I can choose my expiry date. So sorry, the purchase date. So I might say this was purchased back in 30/06, 2016, and the purchase price was $2,500, and the current market value is $999. And I can assign this to a staff member. So I might say this goes to Andre. I can upload a photo of that device as well, or that particular equipment or asset, and I go add to asset registry. Once I add that, it's available here. All right, and it's been allocated to Andre. What we have on the app going forward, not available yet, but on the app itself going forward, there's an option for staff members to obviously sign for it, to say they've accepted the equipment. They can take a photo, acknowledge any defects or whatnot, and that gets that audit history gets logged with that device. Okay, so you know all that particular asset. So you know that Andre has been allocated this particular iMac. He signed for it. He's accepted the terms and conditions. He timestamps it and whatnot, and it's our audit history, so to speak. Okay, and that's coming up in the next version of the WORKR platform. So there's also an option here for you to download a CSV file, fill that in for all your assets, and import it straight into the system. So rather than you punching it in one by one, you can import it all in. Import that asset, it'll go straight into your asset registry, so to speak, and you can make any adjustments like adding photos and assigning staff members and any other adjustments that you need to. That's not available inside the spreadsheet itself, but that's a quick way to getting your assets straight into the WORKR platform. Okay, wellness index. You'll notice that here we have a wellness index, so to speak. Okay, so what we do is on the app itself, and you saw this earlier. Once I logged into the WORKR app, it asked me how to rate my day. I put in 4 stars, and I put in a comment, so to speak. It is all anonymous. Okay, so you don't know which staff members have written what. You obviously get their score, and that gets tallied up. And at the moment, we've got a wellness index of 4. So out of 5, my staff members are feeling pretty okay. So if you start seeing that dip down and staff morale is low, obviously that gives you a bit of an indicator right here. If I click on the wellness index, as you can see, it'll take me straight into the wellness index page, and it's a bigger graph. Obviously that figure remains as 4, but you can see the feedback below here. Okay, again, we don't know which staff members are put in what. We make it anonymous, but you can see the feedback that has been left as well. Okay, so again, it pops up on the staff device on the app after 4 p.m. every single day. All right, and it prompts them 3 times to fill it in. If they don't, after 3 times it disappears, and obviously there's no results, but they get that prompt every single day. So again, a couple of things with the wellness side of things is we're going to focus on wellness and well-being inside the WORKR platform as well. Okay, there's a bunch of stuff that we're doing behind the scenes. So we kicked it off with this wellness index. So again, it's a quick way to gauge your employees' morale and how they're feeling, and obviously you can take action as you need to, or hopefully you know, your staff morale is quite good. But if it's not, you start seeing that dip, so to speak. That particular graph, you know, was 4 a couple of weeks ago, but now it's dipping towards 3 and 2s. You know, obviously something's wrong. You can obviously action it before it gets worse, so to speak. Okay, that's our wellness index. On the dashboard itself, as you can see, there's a lot of stuff there that correlates with what you see inside the OWNA platform. And the reason why we brought them over is we thought they're great functionalities, like the checklist, for example. You guys use checklists inside your center at the moment. We obviously have checklists available inside WORKR as well. Okay, so same process. Obviously, the design might be slightly different, but obviously you still build out your checklist. It's available inside the app for your staff members to sign off on. Okay. One thing I want to show you was so on the dashboard itself here. Okay, you can obviously let me go back to the dashboard. There's an option here to change it to dark mode as well. Okay, so nice little handy tool or nice little handy feature. If you're working at night, you know, the screen's too bright, flick that over to dark mode right here. All right, and then going forward, all your screens here will be in dark mode. So if I go to say my build roster page, there it is there. Okay, so it's all in dark mode based on the settings that you've chosen. Again, to get out of it, all you need to do is get back in the main dashboard page. There's a little setting icon, top right hand corner. Click on that, flick over to light mode, and there you go. Okay, so it's back to the way it was when I started. Next thing I want to have a look at is the documents and so forth, or how it links to OWNA itself. So behind the scenes, once if you do come on board with WORKR, and we set you up on WORKR, we link it back to your particular center inside OWNA. Okay, that part I'm not going to show you, but in my case here for KPL Solutions, I've linked it back to our demo center Sunnyside, right? And if you own multiple centers, we can link this instance back to multiple centers as well. All right, so if you run 5, 6, 10, 20 centers, you don't have 5, 10, 20 different worker setup. You will have one setup, and then we will link it back to your 5, 10, 20 centers that you might have. So to quickly show you that, if I go to manage staff and click on manage staff quickly, these are my staff members right here. Okay, so similar screen to what you see inside WORKR. Add a new staff member, tap on that, and all that kind of stuff. Kylie. So Kylie, if I click on Kylie here, click on Kylie, and I'll go edit her profile. You can see the usual setup, right? Her details, her personal details, emergency contacts, employment details, and super details, and all that kind of stuff. What I want to concern myself with is this option right here. As you can see, Kylie is currently linked up to a Kylie Simmons inside Sunnyside. All right. If I remove this quickly, so generally be empty. And this is where you'll select that particular staff member. It's not going to pull up every staff member. It's going to do a find on similar names. So if there's a Kylie Simmons, it will obviously show that. If there's a Kylie Sims, for example, it will show that as well. But it's not going to bring back every single staff member, so you don't accidentally link the incorrect staff member. Okay, so I'm linking this Kylie account to this Kylie Simmons account inside Sunnyside. And if I show you Sunnyside quickly, under here, manage staff. Oops, wrong screen, sorry. Staff, manage staff. All right, there's a Kylie Simmons inside here. Okay, and this is what it's linking back to. If I had another Kylie, that will pull up as well. So let's go back into here. So now that I've got my Kylie set up, all I do is go link up staff member. I don't have to do that because it's all linked up already. Now it creates that connection between Kylie at Sunnyside to Kylie inside WORKR, so that when we pull her timesheets, we can pull it straight from OWNA based on that linkage, so to speak. Okay. The other thing is documentation. As you can see, if I go to Kylie's documentation inside WORKR, and this is where you can have your documentation in one area. Rather, if you're using OWNA at the moment, you have staff members that go between 5 or 6 different centers. You have documentation at each of those centers. Going forward, you'll have it straight inside WORKR. We can import this all into WORKR for you as well, so you don't have to, worry about having to pull that information into WORKR. We can load that straight in for you as well. So Kylie here, Kylie's got 4 documents assigned, documents under her profile. Okay, and again, there could be employee contracts. There could be, training, documentation, certification, whatever that's part of Kylie's documentation will appear inside here. If I go to OWNA quickly and I go to Kylie's documents, you will see in here there are no documents that have been uploaded inside the Sunnyside Center for Kylie. But if I go on the app quickly and let me click over to my iPad. Oh, there it is. All right. If I go into my iPad here and I click on the OWNA app, okay, so I'm not in WORKR now. I'm going straight into OWNA. If I load that up quickly, you can see if I go to my documents, if I click on this right here, my documents, Kylie hasn't got any documents inside Sunnyside. All right, but the system's smart enough to know that she has a WORKR profile, and it pulls back her information straight into the OWNA system from her WORKR profile. Okay, so again, you don't have to worry about having to have multiple copies of your staff documents across your different centers. You have it inside WORKR, pull it through, it's available straight on the OWNA system for your staff members to have a look at, for admins to take a look at as well. It's all available there. Right? And that linkage between staff members and that staff member itself inside WORKR, let me quickly bring this back again in here. So that linkage of Kylie to that one staff member inside Sunnyside, you can link it to multiple Kylie instances across the different centers. Okay, so if I had another center, Sunnyside 2, that's down the road, I can link, and Kylie was there, I can link Kylie straight to that profile as well. So that when I pull a timesheet at the end of the week, you'll know to pull up anyone or Kylie here, and these multiple centers will be able to pull in all her timesheets based on that as well. And also that Kylie at Sunnyside 2 will be able to see the documents that are linked to this particular Kylie account, that staff documents. Okay, we're going to do a lot more in terms of that tightly coupled scenario that I've talked about. But at the moment, we'll do it with timesheets. We also do it with the staff documentation as well. But anything that needs to be linked together, we'll be able to do simply because we have that unique connection from WORKR straight into OWNA itself. Okay, so that covers the OWNA overlap with WORKR, so to speak. A couple of the other things that we want to do going forward, okay, is onboarding. Onboarding is a big thing that we want to have a look at. You guys might be using the likes of Employment Hero and a few others out there that do onboarding. What we're going to do is, from the moment an employee starts, you can add them into the system. All right, so you'll go to, say, Payroll, for example. Let me go here. So Amy's incomplete at the moment. If I click on Amy, all right, so I'll put in her details here. All right, put in the details and whatnot. If I go to this next screen here, it lets me pick the awards. I've installed 3 awards at the moment: the Children's Services Awards, the ECT, or the Educational Services Teacher Award, and also this Cleaning Services Award as well. This is regularly updated by KeyPay. Okay, so if Fair Work has changed this award, it will get pulled through inside KeyPay as well. And again, what that means is you're not on, you're not having to worry about underpaying staff or overpaying staff. The awards gets updated. You'll get alerted at the same time. The rates and so forth will adjust automatically for you as well. So let's just say I'm setting up Amy. I would choose this Children's Services Award, for example. If she was part of that award, or if she was an ECT, I would choose that particular award. In here, I can choose the employment agreement. Okay, so she might be a director, level 1 at a 40 to 59 place center. Again, different agreements here have different pay scales or different rates or different benefits or different rules applied to them. Okay, so I might say we're a 60 plus place center. She's working full time. Okay, so based on that, it will let me know that her pay rate here is $31.79 per hour. Okay, I can make any adjustments as well. I can override that pay rate. I can also put in the standard hours per day as well. And there's a whole bunch of stuff here that I can set for her particular profile. Use timesheets, or I can use timesheets for exception only. So if I'm not using timesheet, I'm saying, for example, she works a 40-hour week. So I'll say 40-hour week. She'll get paid 40 times $31.79. I can use timesheets for exception, like overtime or whatnot, that she gets paid extra based on if she worked overtime, for example. Once you get that all set up, the onboarding side of things will kick in. Okay, so kick in the sense that it will send her a contract We'll send her a contract to fill out. We'll tell her her rate. What you know, in this case here, $39.79 per hour. She's going to work the standard 40 hours per week, hours per day, 7.6 and whatnot. What award that she's been set up with, and obviously with the pay condition rule set and so forth that has been applied as well. There's also be an option for you to obviously add in any of your extra wording or extra agreement that you need to place from the employee on their onboarding contract. And once they get that onboarding contract, they'll fill that in, and that gets all recorded back into their staff document section. So again, you have an employee contract, you have any agreements that are signed, that's all part of your onboarding process, and that's coming up very soon. Okay, so we'll have that available very soon on the WORKR platform. That's one thing we're excited about. We want to get that rolled out as soon as possible, because again, it makes your jobs a lot easier. You don't have to worry about, you know, copying and pasting from an old employee contract. You know, all you need to do is fill in the blanks. Staff name, or that would obviously sync through, staff name, address, phone numbers, any important details, and that will sync through, create an employment contract. All they need to do is pretty much sign that, and again, that will feed back in straight into the WORKR system. The other thing that we want to have a look at is the LMS side of things. Okay, so LMS is one thing that we want to roll out inside the WORKR platform, and that's stuff like, you know, getting your staff members to complete quizzes or qualifications that you can set up and all that kind of stuff. One thing that we are just letting you guys know, that one thing that we are rolling out inside OWNA is our CCS course. All right, so we've you know, a lot of our queries come from CCS. A lot of educators, a lot of directors, and even approved providers don't know every facet of CCS. So we have a CCS course coming out in the next maybe 3 weeks or so, whereby staff members can complete that CCS course. It's quite thorough, it's quite in-depth as well, and there's a test behind the scenes, and obviously from there on gives you your certification in CCS so that you understand it. There's a score and all that kind of stuff, and that's going to feed back into that LMS system as well, so that again, you know, you can send staff members on that particular course inside the WORKR platform, and it'll mark down that they've done that, you know, what their results were. That all gets logged in part of their profile as well. Okay. The other thing that we're going to look at also is the let me bring it up here, is the staff appraisals. Okay, so we're looking at staff appraisals as well, building in staff appraisals into the WORKR platform. You know, whether it's a 6 monthly thing, quarterly thing, or a yearly thing, we'll have that available where you can select your appraisal criteria or periods, and you can fill in your staff appraisal. Again, that gets embedded into the staff documentation. They can provide feedback on it, you know, create that two-way dialogue between manager and employee. Again, you know, that way they know if they're doing well, or if they need an improvement in certain areas, that'll be available inside the WORKR system as well. All right. I think I've covered, it's almost 1:30 now. I think I've covered most of the stuff that I wanted to go through today. I didn't want to make it all about payroll today and go through every single aspect of setting up an employee inside payroll, but pretty much the KeyPay system is a full-blown payroll platform. Okay, it's not us. We're piggybacking off KeyPay. KeyPay does all that hard work, so to speak. And what we do is we tap onto that. We use our great tech in the sense that, you know, we have a great app for the organization or for your business that allows staff members to do stuff like, you know, put in their leave request, blockout availability, and that all links up inside the OWNA platform as well, straight into the WORKR platform. Hopefully, you know, streamlining your operations and how you do certain things. Next thing I want to have a look at is or last thing I want to have a look at is the pricing side of things. Okay, so WORKR is not part of OWNA. Okay, in the sense that, you know, if you have a OWNA subscription, whether it's premium or premium plus, you don't get WORKR. Okay, we have some of the staffing and HR stuff already inside OWNA, but it's not obviously in depth as what you see inside WORKR. Right, so we have two modes here. So if I scroll down under pricing, there's a couple of options. Let me just refresh that screen. All right, in here. So you have your $5 per staff member. Okay, and that's kind of what you get inside OWNA at the moment. Right, so any centers are not using OWNA. they can use the WORKR app, and that's just staff-related stuff like staff documentation and rostering and timesheets and so forth. But it doesn't include the payroll module. So all that key pay stuff that I showed you today, that's not included. Okay, that's the $5 per staff member. The one that I went through today is your $8 per staff member. Right, that includes everything that I showed you today, plus anything new that will roll out as well. Right, like onboarding and LMS, that won't be included inside the $5 per staff member premium package, but it will be included inside the premium plus package. It covers all that payroll stuff, as I mentioned today, or your STP, your pay slips, your PAYG, employee onboarding, LMS, well-being, whatever we whip up later on, whatever we roll out will be available inside the Premium Plus package going forward. There's also a free 30-day trial of any package, so we can set you up and you can have a play with it. And you find out, hey, it's not for, you don't like it, it doesn't work well for you. Obviously, you can cancel after 30 days. Okay. One thing I want to mention is I've had some feedback in terms of the pricing. What you have to remember is if you're using Xero, for example, for payroll, or QuickBooks or MYOB, they're not a full-blown payroll system. Okay, so they charge minimal for their payroll. So it might sound cheaper, but they don't do all that awards interpretation. They don't do all the changing of rates and it's not flexible in the sense that again, if a staff member's work 4 hours and at base rate the next 4 hours at a certain rate, you can't do that easily inside Xero. Okay, you're relying on someone to go in there and make that adjustment, so to speak. Going forward, that should be all automated with KeyPay, all automated. You don't have to worry about that, and you'll get notifications, you'll get alerts when certain things will change based on yearly award changes, or if Fair Work has come in and put in a new rule on one of the awards that you've got installed inside KeyPay, you'll get alerted to that fact as well. Okay, that pretty much covers it. Yeah, sorry, with the $8 per staff member, what we do is our payroll expert will go through and set up that payroll side of things for you as well. So what that means is, if you're using, argument's sake, you're using Xero for your payroll, that will help you with the transition from Xero straight into KeyPay, and they can do stuff like grabbing your staff leave and your PAYG. Contribution and super contribution from your previous system straight into the OWNA system as well. Right? One thing I didn't cover was how does that feed back into Xero, for example. Right? So in KeyPay, let me bring this up. All right, so inside KeyPay here, if I go to manage payroll, once you do your pay runs and whatnot, you obviously want to get that into Xero, so you know what your outlay is for employee costs and PAYG and so forth. That's where you go into your reports. There's a, I'm gonna forget where this is. There's a connection to Xero. I'm gonna forget here. Sorry. Payroll tax, there's not that. There's an ability to sync it straight to into Xero, MYOB, QuickBooks, and all that kind of stuff as well. I'm just I should have. Oh, here it is here. Details, pay, chart of accounts. All right, so you'll connect it. Get started by connecting to a journal service, and this is what it connects up to. So it connects up to Zazu, Xero, MYOB, QuickBooks, NetSuite, Reckon. There's a few others here that I don't recognize, but if you're using one of these, the majority would use Xero, MYOB, Reckon, and then QuickBooks. If you're using that, you can sync it straight to your accounting system, and that will push through your PAYG commitments, your SG, your super contribution commitments, and your outlay for employee costs and so forth will go straight into your accounting system. Right? But all the crux of it, the actual leave accrual and all that, will sit inside KeyPay, and that gets tracked and logged and changes as the week goes by. New pay runs occur, new timesheets, new employees come in. That would all sit inside the KeyPay system. All right. I've finished. I've covered all the items that I wanted to go through today. I know it's, a lot of it was high level, but hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea of what we're doing with WORKR, where we're taking WORKR, so to speak, and how it differs from the OWNA offering. I'll open up the floor to any questions.
Oh, hi, it's Peter here. Just a question on when will this be available?
It's available now. Okay, so it's available now. The only difference is in here. If you log in, we're redoing the look and feel of the WORKR platform. So what I'm showing you today is the new look and feel. If you were to jump in right now, just quickly. If you were to jump in right now on the live platform, it's available now, but it's obviously the old look and feel, so to speak. So what I wanted to go through today was the new look and feel, so that once you logged in first, you're not thinking, oh, this is a totally separate platform or looks totally different to what I saw in a webinar. This is exactly what you'll see going forward. Okay, but yes, available now.
Thanks. And to sign up, do you go to it separately and do a whole new account setup? I assume you do.
Yeah, so just head over to the WORKR website here. Just click on pricing, and then just go down and pick a particular one that you want to go with, and click on sign up and fill in those details, and you'll get set up straight away. We don't verify like we do with OWNA. All right, so we set you up straight away. You'll get an email with your login details, and you can get straight in there and get stuck into it.
Okay, thanks very much.
I have a question about automation and setting up rules about triggering certain documents to be submitted for staff.
Yep.
Or collecting the documentation normally would be done for onboarding, I assume. I'm currently using employment here. I'm very familiar with that. What's that going to look like in OWNA, in the WORKR?
Yeah, so that's part of the onboarding process, as you were saying. Okay, so what for example, let's just say, argument's sake, you've offered a spot to a new employee, and you require them to upload 4 documents, for example. Okay, so you'll set that up. This is not built, so I can't obviously show you, but I'll run you through exactly how it works. So on the portal itself, you would say, all you employees will require 4 documents that are uploaded. That document might be a tax file declaration, it might be a super form or whatnot. And that staff member, when they're onboarded, will fill in their contracts and obviously upload those documents as well. All right, and you'll see there'll be a matrix on the onboarding to let you know which staff members have completed the contract, which ones have uploaded the TFN, which ones have uploaded the super contribution, or whatever else documentation that you want to your staff members to fill out. That's from the onboarding side of things. There's also going forward, if they're an employee that started already, but all of a sudden, you need staff members to fill in a COVID form, for example, stating that they had their vaccination or whatever it is. You can set that up inside the portal itself, and it'll be available on the app for the educators to sign off on. So they'll upload that particular document inside the app or inside the portal itself. And then you'll see straight away, there'll be a table. Hopefully that this will be out in the next week or so. There'll be a table available that shows you exactly which staff members have done that or have uploaded that document and signed off on it, and which ones obviously haven't as well. Okay.
So I'm not sorry about that. I'm not familiar with OWNA because I'm obviously working in HR, so I see it only from my own children's perspective. But in terms of policies and having a central library of that, would that be
that's available already?
Too?
Yeah, that's available already. So in here, under I'm just going to the old system. All right, the old system, because at the moment, just letting you know that the new system here, I don't have every single page available just yet. It's not a live platform, but this one, the old design is under Workplace. There's a Workplace documents. Okay, so in here, it's bare at the moment, but there's a whole bunch of documentation that's available for your staff members to have a read off. So there's the employee handbook, the fire emergency evacuation procedure, and employee induction and first aid and so forth. So on the app itself, as a staff member, I can go into here and I'll go into my Workplace documents, and this is where I can have a read of all your fire emergency. I can obviously give feedback on it as well. I can acknowledge that I've read it as well. Right? So there's a tick here to say that I've acknowledged that I've read it. So again, these are all dummy documents, but yes, that's available here.
And can you run reports on that?
At the moment, you can't. There's no. It will show you here who's read it. Okay, but in terms of reporting, if there is a certain report that you want that we don't have, let us know. We'll be able to look at building that for you quite easily. All right. So at the moment, it just shows you who's acknowledged it. It doesn't say this. It depends on if you give me an example, I'll be able to say yes. Yeah, you can do that quite easily.
What? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we have the same process on the childcare side of things as well. Okay, so they have policies and documentation, but we've never had anyone ask for a report, so to speak. Not saying that it's it's not worthwhile, but we haven't had anyone mention any reporting. But let us know. Yeah. Any other questions? Someone sent me an email. Is it $8 per staff member per month or per year? Per staff member per month. All right. And what also what that does also is if you're using the likes of QuickBooks and Xero and MYOB for your payroll, you can obviously drop down to the accounting package only and remove the payroll side of things going forward. Okay, so that's one thing you can do there as well. And the reason, just going back to the start of the webinar today when I talked about why we built WORKR. The integration with Xero, we get a lot of timesheet type questions as well from centers. You know, can we push our times and leave and all that into QuickBooks and Xero and MYOB? And we do that. Obviously not to a great degree, so to speak. Right? They changed the more systems that you integrate with, the more you have to maintain as well. So rather than trying to keep everyone happy, you know, trying to build something that satisfies 5, 6, 7 different integrations, we built it with KeyPay, and the reason why we've done that is it allows us to focus on one area and get really good at it, rather than trying to build every single feature for these 5 or 6 different platforms. We'll build it for one platform, make it solid, make it work great. It's gonna help you immensely in the sense that you're not gonna have issues with timesheets. You're not gonna have issues with staff members being paid incorrectly and all that, because it's all gonna feed back in nicely into the WORKR platform, but straight into KeyPay, into your payroll as well. Any other questions? One thing I didn't talk about earlier was under here, under staff log, you can inject, if a staff member has left for the day, let's just say in my case here, Kylie here is supposed to work 10 to 4. She come in, but she's obviously gone home sick, for example. I can obviously put in the checkout time. I can also add the leave time as well. Okay, so add the leave time. And once I add that leave time, it will pay her for, let's just say she worked 9 to 12. It will pay her for 3 hours. And obviously the other 5 hours will be taken as personal carers leave. And that will feed back into KeyPay as well. Just quick, does the roster feed through from OWNA to WORKR? Can we push the roster through to KeyPay? Yes, it will. It will. At the moment, it's the staff timesheets that does. The reason why we just don't sync the roster straight into WORKR is you might have multiple centers. So it's a bit trickier there to just push from OWNA straight into WORKR. But we are looking at that side of things. But the timesheet should be fine with that. Can you switch payroll programs in the middle of the financial year, Kerry? Kerry, I'm not 100% certain. All right, so I'm not a payroll expert. I've got our payroll expert will be able to let us know, and I'll get back to you on that one. So I don't want to say yes or no and give you the wrong information. But I would assume yes. That's my gut feel.
Hey, Kiang, just quickly on the timesheets pushing through, where you have staff that aren't signing in and out, and I get it's something for us to work on with our staff, but is there an option to bulk revert everyone to rostered time to send through to Xero or KeyPay, or is that one by one? So at the moment we send through our roster to Xero as opposed to our timesheets, and we keep the roster live. If we were to send through our timesheets, we'd have multiple staff that are hopeless signing in and out. Just wondering whether you can do like a bulk select or to revert to the roster
we can
time.
do that. Yeah, we can do that. And just quickly as well. So if you adjust any times, there's a log of that as well. Okay, as you can see in here. Right. So Kylie here checked in today at 10:57. Right, but I've adjusted, or she's adjusted her time to 8:57:06, and that was done at 10:59. So everything that gets edited will be audited and logged as well. So if I do this now and go, yep, I actually came in at 8:55, I update that. As you can see, that changes to 8:55. That remains at 10:57. That's exactly when she logged in, and this has been changed twice. Right. So just letting you know, that's all logged and that's all tracked as well going forward. But going back to your revert all button, that's something that we can do in the sense that we can revert that, and once it does, you'll have this audit trail appear inside your staff log.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like with 42 staff across the week, that's a lot of people to change individually if people are mucking up their sign in and out time. So if that's a possibility to revert or to get the roster sent through as opposed to the timesheets, that would be awesome. Yeah,
we can definitely take a look at that. Yeah. Did I miss any questions? Feel free to type in any questions you have in the chat. I haven't gone through the chat yet. My colleague has, and hopefully he's answered most of it. But if there's something that wasn't answered, feel free to type it in now, and I'll shout it out. I'll be able to go through it right now. I see one message here from someone here. I currently use KeyPay, which has all these features, and then download a file to my bank to pay staff. Is WORKR replacing KeyPay, or will I still need it for the bulk file upload to the bank? If you're using KeyPay at the moment, great. What we do is we just link your KeyPay straight into WORKR. All right. So and going forward, you do whatever you do with KeyPay at the moment, but it'll all live inside the WORKR platform, and you make use of all that other WORKR stuff that we have, like rostering timesheets and linking back to OWNA and all that kind of stuff. All right. So if you want and you're using KeyPay at the moment, we can simply change the configuration on our end, let KeyPay know as well, and they can marry the two together. All right. So that's and you'll be familiar with how it all works anyway. Someone asked induction and appraisals, would that be customizable? That's the plan. Okay, that's the plan. Is to use our form builder that we have to be able to. So we'll have a standard induction appraisal template, and you can obviously add to it and make any adjustments that you need. That's the plan. We might start out as just a set template, but going forward, you'll be able to adjust it as you need. I think, and I asked, will I be able to upload my own training courses? We haven't gone down that path yet. I assume we would at a later date. But at this point in time, there'll be set courses and stuff that'll be set up on the LMS side of things. But my gut feel is yes, you'll probably be able to create your own training courses on the LMS side of things. I think I've covered most questions. Give a couple more minutes for any last questions. Yeah, so Kerry said, yeah, so yeah, the STP will obviously be different because if you, let's just say arguments like you switch now, obviously the contribution would be different or would be a certain amount with that particular software. And obviously if you started from today, for example, the amount will be from today onwards. So you will have to pay 2 lots, so to speak. About 1 minute. All right, so I'll leave you guys with a parting note. On the WORKR website, feel free to put in your details, and you don't put in any credit card details or anything. Sign in, have a play with it. Just keep in mind though, the payroll side of things won't be working, okay? Because we need to set that up. If you come on board and you want to try the payroll side of things, obviously sign up to Premium Plus, and then we'll set you up on the key pay side of things. That's a manual thing that we need to do on our end. Okay. All right, guys. I'll leave you to it. Hopefully, I've answered all your questions, or I've given you a good overview of how the WORKR platform works. We'll try to cover a more in-depth payroll webinar. Again, I'm not a payroll expert, but I've got a payroll expert working with us now, and they can go through exactly payroll in a bit more detail and how to set it up and awards interpretation and changes and anything to do with payroll. Okay, so I'll leave you guys to it. Yeah, feel free to sign up and trial it out and go from there. All right. Thanks, everyone.